What is that? What the Rudy!
If you've watched my videos over the past few years, I've done some dumb things in this garage, and I'm not afraid to admit it. But the story I'm about to tell you is arguably one of the dumbest things I've ever done. And it's a cautionary tale for anyone working on replacing the coolant on a 986 Porsche Boxster, or for that matter, a 996 non-turbo 911. After completing a water pump and thermostat replacement on the car, that will be covered in a separate video. In my shakedown cruise, there was a distinct tinking noise in the lifters, and the oil pressure light came on. Something I did during that water pump replacement and coolant replacement was not right. So I'm going to take you through what I did wrong. Stay tuned. So what went wrong? In order to drain the coolant, keep in mind this is a mid-engine car with radiators that are in the lower front bumper. So there's several drain points, but one of them is below the engine. In hindsight, I should have known which drain plug to look for. As you look at this picture here, there are, in fact, two drain points. I assumed it was the larger of the two for the coolant. Just like when you get lost, you look at a map. Before I started this, I should have looked at the PET drawing to make sure I was taking the right drain plug off. I didn't do that, was in a rush, trying to get this done in time so I could drive the car the following week to Hershey to be judged. After removing the water pump and the thermostat, I set about changing all the fluid before I refilled everything. Not knowing which drain plug, I inadvertently started taking this drain plug out, and imagine my surprise when oil came out. So that turned out to be the oil pressure relief spring. That's what controls the oil pressure throughout the engine. As you see in that slow-mo video, when I took that out, I was so shocked to see motor oil instead of what I was expecting, which would have been coolant. I quickly put the bolt in, the pressure relief bolt back in, but didn't realize there was a spring on it. I quickly put the bolt back in, replaced it was probably a couple of cups of oil, and set about putting the car back together and changing out the coolant. So I went forward, changed the coolant with the proper drain plug, which is a much smaller Allen head on that same manifold. This is what happened when I started the engine. There was a ticking noise and the oil pressure light was on. We had some family activities going on, so I couldn't delve into it at that point. You can imagine going on a family function, but you've got this in the back of your head, thinking, what did I do to this engine? Did I just make a $10,000 mistake on something related to the water pump? Little time out in an apple orchard, I was able to clear my head and realized, okay, if it's truly the IMS bearing or the timing chain tension guides in this engine, the oil, I'll see things in the oil. So not only did the oil filter look clean, when I took the old oil filter apart, there wasn't a metal flake to be found in it or any plastic that people talk about. So that was good. Now, this is where things got weird. When I went to drain the oil, the drain plug dumped out, the regular drain plug, and then I noticed in my oil pan spigot there was a huge spring about 3 inches long. Not thinking through it, I made matters even worse. I thought the spring had come out when I drained the oil, but in fact, as that video you saw at the beginning, the spring came out from the oil pressure relief valve. So like a complete idiot, I tried to put the spring back into the oil pan, and of course it flipped right over, and I realized I had done something horribly wrong. And that's when I went back to the PET drawing and realized, oh my God, I took, the spring belongs in there, not in the oil pan. So now I had created myself a really bad situation. This was on a Saturday evening. At least I knew what I had done wrong. So what did I order from FCP Euro? Well, I ordered, since I had played around with the pressure relief spring, I thought, well, the car has 113,000 on it. At this point, I want to put a new spring in, new cap. So FCP Euro offers not only a new bolt for that, but a new spring. And since oil pressure is critical in these engines, I ordered that whole assembly for about $55, if memory serves me right. On top of that, since I was replacing new oil and had put the oil filter in and out, I needed new crush washers for not only the oil pressure relief valve, but the oil drain plug and the oil filter uses an O-ring, so I ordered those as well. So in order to pull the pan, you have to remove a lucky 13 bolts. When I ordered the parts from FCP, I realized there's not a gasket on these cars, but rather you use an RTV sealant and you form a new gasket. So I pulled the pan to get the old spring out, cleaned up the gasket area, and put a bead of the RTV sealant on. Now with the spring out of the oil pan and all cleaned up, I could go ahead and put the oil pan back together. I put that in, torqued everything down to, I believe, 10 foot-pounds. And then replaced the oil filter, replacing the oil pan drain plug with a fresh crush washer, and then refilling the car with fresh oil. I went ahead and started the car, and here's what we heard.
Okay, so that's showing me the oil's good. There we go. She's okay. Crisis averted.
Self-inflicted crisis averted. I dodged a bullet, and it just goes to show you need to never rush a major job. Take a step back, do it when you know you have plenty of time, and know your car before you get underneath it. I thought I did, and I could have made a serious mistake if I had driven the car any further, but crisis is averted. I'm pleased to report a couple days later, on Friday, October 6th, I was able to drive the Boxster without issue 240 miles round trip to Hershey, Pennsylvania for the AACA car show, and it did win my first junior award with that car. So engine crisis averted. I learned a valuable lesson, and hopefully you learn from my mistakes. I will be working on a full video of the water pump and thermostat replacement on one of these cars, so check that out in the near future. But for now, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and comment, as that helps grow the channel through YouTube's algorithm. And if you haven't done so already, I encourage you to subscribe. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching this video. Please press the like and subscribe button, comment below, and be sure to check out our other videos on this subject, as well as all of the great content on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, you can call me at the number listed below, or be sure to check out our main website, guyswithrides.com.